I'm here in upstate New York at the beautiful Monticello Motor Club, and we're going to see if we can learn something from the world of racing that might apply to identity security. To do that, I'm joined by Robert Megennis, who drives the number 27 Indy Lights car for Andretti Autosports. Robert, thanks for having me up to the track.
Thanks for having me, Grady. It's going to be an awesome day.
I'm looking forward to it. Maybe you can tell me, how did you get your start in racing?
So I started racing when I was 10 years old. Went to my dad's 40th birthday party to go-kart track. Just loved it. Haven't stopped racing since. Moved up to cars when I was 15. I got scouted by a professional car team.
So you're at 15, you're driving professionally. Like, I didn't even have my learner's permit yet.
Yeah, I didn't either.
Funny. So what are we doing today?
So today we'll be driving this Porsche GT4 Club Sport, and I think you'll find there's a lot more similarities between what I do and what you do every single day.
It's a beautiful car. I get to drive it?
Yeah, no way.
Robert, I'm not going to lie, that was a little more intense than I was expecting. I didn't expect it to be so much like I was getting shoved and pulled back, but I absolutely loved it. One thing I noticed as we were heading into one of those curves, I looked up, I just took a peek at your instrument panel there and to see how fast you were going, like 160, 170, and there were so many numbers up there. And as I was looking around and saying a little prayer for our safety, I noticed there were wires also running everywhere. There's a transmitter sitting right behind where I was sitting. Like, how much data is coming off of one of these cars?
There's so much data. We get 80 to 100 gigabytes of data from every race weekend, and every single thing that's happening in the car is being recorded. There are over 300 sensors in this car.
No kidding. Like, what kind of stuff are you measuring?
Everything that's happening. Everything from what I'm doing in the car, how hard I'm hitting the brakes, the angle of the steering wheel, the RPM of the engine, to how hot is the engine, how hot are the tires, and what are their pressures, how much are the springs moving. Everything that happens in the car is being recorded.
So how is that data used in the race?
The team will be getting a lot of that data live from the car, so they'll be giving me feedback about what the car is doing. Like, when you're out on the racetrack in the moment, all they can do is feed me little tidbits. Hey, your tire pressures are 2 psi too low in the left rear, and I know exactly what to do to deal with that.
Like, how do you know what to do?
It's really just from years of experience. I know exactly what to do, right? If the right rear tire pressure is too low, I know that the right rear doesn't have enough grip through all the fast left-handers. I'm going to push harder. In my driving, maybe I'll get off the brakes a little earlier, or maybe I'll even change something in the cockpit.
And you said it's just experience, so I assume you're not memorizing a list of, if tire pressure too low, then do these 5 things. Is it procedure, or is it like gut?
It's just gut feeling, right? The race car, it feels like an extension of my body when I'm out there. You just feel like the whole thing's flowing and moving, and it's actually quite funny. One of the things, the way you feel the car, a lot of it's through your butt, right? You can feel the rear of the car moving through your butt in the seat. So no, it's just from years of doing it. I've never read a book. I know how the car physically works, but that's just off of experience, and I know exactly, all right, this is what has to happen, and this is how it needs to feel for us to be as fast as possible.
Gosh, so it's just like the expertise from doing it so much. In fact, you made a comment when we were out there. You said you could tell there's like an extra 200 pounds, in the car. You might have said a svelte 180 to 190 pounds actually, but it just struck me how well you know this machine. So I had a few moments of panic where, flying down the straightaway, and I kind of glanced over at you, and you seemed to totally calm and under control. What gives you that confidence when you're approaching a turn at 170 plus miles an hour, or in Indy Lights at 200 miles an hour? What gives you confidence that you can make it?
Yeah, I mean, it really comes down to my team. I trust them with my life. I know that they've put together a great race car, and this race car is going to keep me safe, and it's going to be fast, right? But the car itself, I have trust in the equipment, right? I know, for example, my brakes, they're going to slow me down for that turn. I'm not going to go head first into that wall because I know exactly what the limit of those brakes are.
That reminds me of, we have a cliche in information security that's like, security is the brakes, it lets business go faster. And it's funny to hear you mention it that's a real thing, right?
It is real. I mean, the brakes are the most important part of my race car, right? It doesn't matter how fast I go down those straights. If my brakes aren't good enough, I'm going headfirst into that wall, or if they're too good, I'm going to slow down too fast. We're going to get to the middle of that corner way too quickly, and we're going to be going too slow. So they have to be just perfect. I know my team sets them up like that.
That's cool. I see a lot of parallels here between, as different as they seem, between what we do in cybersecurity and in identity security and what you do in racing. So I just want to say thanks very much. It was really a lot of fun. I enjoyed driving around with you, and thanks for keeping me safe.
Thank you, Grady. This was awesome.
Man, that was great, Robert. Thanks so much.
You can be my wingman anytime, Grady.
Awesome. Can I call you Maverick?
What?
You can call me Goose.
Who?